What made my best friend destroy my wedding day? My college best friend Savannah and I hadn't talked much since graduation. When I got engaged to Colin, who we both knew from college, Savannah suddenly reached out offering to plan my entire wedding. She said it was her chance to reconnect and show everyone how successful she'd become as an event coordinator. I was hesitant because Savannah had always had a massive crush on Colin, but she insisted she was totally over it. When I called Colin in Japan where he was on a business trip, he said it was sweet of her to offer and that I should say yes. Savannah threw herself into wedding planning like a woman possessed, creating color-coded spreadsheets, coordinating with vendors, managing guest lists with military precision. I actually started feeling bad about doubting her. She was putting in serious work and our friendship felt like it was blooming again. Friends kept praising her dedication, but when I mentioned preferring pink roses over white, Savannah's mask slipped and she snapped, "Stay in your lane, Em. Do you want a great wedding or just a good one? You're not better than me at everything." I brushed it off as wedding stress. When Colin returned from Japan, I watched Savannah hug him like she was trying to absorb his essence. That's when my spider senses started tingling. I pulled her aside and asked if she was really okay with planning this wedding, and she got this weird glassy look and said she was more motivated than ever to bring us together forever. I had mutual friends casually check on her, but they reported she seemed totally fine. What I didn't know was that Savannah had started manipulating everything behind the scenes like some demented puppet master. She secretly excluded people from our guest list who she thought made her look bad by comparison, and found Colin's ex-girlfriend's contact info to send her a wedding invitation without telling anyone. The wedding day arrived and everything felt off from the moment I woke up. Savannah had somehow gotten herself a key to my bridal suite and was already there at 6 a.m., rearranging my makeup and telling my bridesmaids they were doing everything wrong. She kept making little comments about how this day will change everything, with this unsettling smile. As I walked down the aisle, I spotted Colin's ex sitting in the third row wearing a bright white dress, smirking at me like she owned the place. My stomach dropped, but I powered through the ceremony, my hands shaking as I said my vows while that woman stared daggers at me. At the reception, Savannah grabbed the microphone for what I thought would be a sweet speech. Instead, she spent 10 agonizing minutes airing out my most embarrassing college moments. The time I threw up on my professor, my brief stint with an eating disorder, how I used to cry after every exam. The room went dead silent as she framed these as funny memories, while people shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Then she pivoted to gushing about Colin, talking about their deep connection and understanding each other in ways I probably couldn't relate to. The final nail in the coffin came when she casually mentioned that beautiful night we shared in senior year, which was news to me. My maid of honor literally lunged for the microphone, but Savannah held on like her life depended on it, continuing to ramble about how some people are meant to be together, even if the timing isn't right. When I cornered Savannah in the bathroom, she completely exploded. "You stole him!" she screamed. "We were perfect together until you swooped in with your perfect little life." I stood there in my wedding dress, trembling, as she admitted to inviting the ex because she wanted me to see that Colin has a type, and it wasn't me. Then came the bombshell. Colin had cheated on his ex with Savannah, which is why they broke up. "He chose you temporarily," she hissed, "but he'll always come back to me." My head was spinning as more secrets poured out. She'd been texting Colin throughout his Japan trip, sending him memories and photos of them together. She'd convinced herself that planning our wedding was actually her chance to win him back and show him what they could have together. When I tried to leave the bathroom, she grabbed my dress so hard I heard fabric tear. "You don't deserve this," she whispered with wild eyes. "You don't deserve him. You don't deserve any of this." I managed to escape and found Colin, but by then Savannah had returned to the reception and was telling anyone who'd listen that I was having a breakdown and maybe wasn't ready for marriage. Colin confronted Savannah, asking her to leave, but she turned it into a public spectacle, screaming about how we were both using her and how she'd sacrificed everything for our happiness. In her final act of destruction, she grabbed our 3-tier wedding cake, the one she'd specially ordered to match her vision, and hurled it against the wall, white frosting exploding everywhere like a sugary crime scene. Hotel security had to physically carry her out as she shrieked, "This isn't over! Colin knows where to find me when he's done playing house." The last image burned into my brain was Savannah's face in the lobby, no longer crying, but smiling with this satisfied expression like she'd accomplished exactly what she set out to do. Savannah got cut off from our entire friend group, and everyone picked sides like we were in middle school. Colin and I had brutal conversations about his past and the things he never told me, but we decided to work through it with couples counseling. It's a process, and some days are harder than others. Last I heard, Savannah moved across the country and had gotten a restraining order filed against her by some male coworker she'd become close with. Sometimes I wonder if she's out there right now, planning someone else's perfect event.